G'day folks, Nick from Three Greens Brewing, here to answer a couple of questions for the tasting paddle. So let's get into it. For me, that would be Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I had that probably close to 15 years ago, and it just changed the way I thought about beer and craft beer. And those big American hops right up front, it's become my favourite beer style, and they're basically the styles I make to this day. We get this question a lot, given that in our lineup we have a red rye IPA and we also have a rye double IPA. So a rye IPA simply is just an IPA that has some rye in the grain bill, either in place of barley or in addition to barley. So for our rye IPAs we use typically 25 to 35% rye in the grain bill. Gives it a really nice spice to the malt flavour, which goes really well with the big American and Australian hops that we have up front in our IPAs. The red rye IPA is the same thing, but we've just put a few red malts in the grain bills. So malts like Gladfield Redback and Dingman Special B gives it a nice red colour and also some nice red aromatics in the grain. So basically all hops can be used for either bittering or aroma. It really depends on how long you boil them for. So the longer you boil hops for, the more alpha acids you extract, the more bitterness you're going to get from them. But at the same time, all the oils that give the nice flavour and aroma are going to boil off. So if you want to use a hop for aroma and flavour, you add it very late in the boil or even in the whirlpool when the wort temperature has cooled down to sort of 75 to 80 degrees. Or even further on in the ferment when the temperature's down at 18 to 20 degrees. So that way you're going to extract some of those oils and get the nice flavour and aroma, but not extract the bitterness. So big advantage clearly is cost to set up. We don't have to spend a few $100,000 on equipment, finding a premises, going through all the council approvals and all that sort of stuff. It's very simple to set up as a contract brewer. Basically need to just set up a company and get a liquor license, and off you go. I guess the disadvantages are then you've got to fit into someone's brew schedule, so that can make things complicated. If the brewer's very busy and they don't have a lot of tank time, that can influence when you're going to be making your beer, particularly if you run out of a particular product line, like let's say we run out of cans of our red rye IPA and we've got orders coming in. We've got to fit into a brewer's schedule so that we can rebrew that beer. So it does add a fair bit of complexity to being a contract brewer, but having said that, it's a great way to get started in the industry. You get to work with very experienced brewers, you get to learn the ropes that way, and yeah, great way to get started. I've been Nick from Three Greens Brewing. You're watching the Tasting Paddle, and it's been great to talk to you guys. See you later.